Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rogers and welcome to Physics 101. This is a quick little walkthrough of my Canvas course as well as my syllabus, so let's hop right to it. This is Canvas and that's what we're using at LCC. I will admit that this is the first real semester where we're all using it, so there may be a bump or two in the road. I hope that's not the case, but just be a little bit patient with myself and the other teachers as we kind of learn how to work the ins and outs of Canvas. So this is what you see when you sign in. This is the home page. We have some tabs over here. We see a nice little to-do list over here, and we have some links down here, as well as some lecture links. So I'm going to start off by click on this. A little bit about me. This is all in the syllabus, but quick little blurb about me. Email is probably the best way to get in touch with me. This is a landline. Don't try to text it. You can give me a call if you'd like. Lots of times I am over in the lab teaching, so email is probably the best way to get in touch with me. We can go ahead and click on this and bring up the syllabus. And something else something I really like about Canvas is you can see all your due dates right here. You can even access these quizzes. You can see that, for example, on the August 27th at 11:59, there's something due. And you can also see the calendar view over here if you prefer to click on that. Let's dive through the syllabus, and then I'll show you where everything is on Canvas. So you click on that thing and it's going to download. If I do have to change the syllabus for any reason, I don't see it since it's an online class, they're not going to have a snow day or something like that, I would post a new one right here. Again, this is a fully online class, online lecture, online lab, and it is an 8-week class, so the end date is October 15th. What we're going to do is we're going to learn a little bit about the way the world works. I'm talking about physics, mostly mechanics and properties of matter in this particular one, as well as heat. Communications, I live in Middletown at 216 Science and Health Profession Building. I've told you a little bit about this number and about this email address, so I'm not going to repeat that. Teaching methods, this is a fully online class. I have recorded my face-to-face lectures with voice over PowerPoint, but they're a little bit less dry than your average voice over PowerPoint because if I jump off a desk in my face-to-face class, I got a video of me jumping off a desk and I kind of splice that in to hopefully spice it up a little bit. The book is Conceptual Physics, and just a money-saving note, you can get by with the 11th edition. This little blurb right here says that this is an online class, and you still need to put the time in. Online classes are hard, in my opinion, especially science classes. If you could take me face-to-face, I'd highly recommend that over online, but sometimes you just have to make things work for you. We do labs in the class. These are mostly online simulations. There's 27 labs. In the face-to-face class, it's a little bit of lecture, a little bit of lab every day, and I see them normally 27 times. Two of the labs, actually the first two, try not to scare you away, do require some simple things like a ruler and a stopwatch. I'm pretty sure most people can manage with that. Most of them are online simulations, some HTML5, Flash, Java labs. Java labs don't play well with Macs, and I realize you may have difficulty with those. My intent is to record some YouTube videos of me doing the lab for the Java labs if you can't get those guys to work. I will let you submit the labs twice so you can get a little bit of feedback. So you can submit it and I'll say, hey, you might want to rethink this part, rethink this part, and then I'll let you submit it again. And I'll go ahead and average the 2 attempts. That's kind of like the feedback you would get in my face-to-face classes. I do ask that you turn it in 48 hours before the deadline, so that way I actually have time to look over all of them and get good feedback to you. Homework in this class, each chapter we have about 10 questions. It's all multiple choice. You also have 2 attempts at the homework, and it'll tell you which ones you got wrong, so that way you can go ahead and resubmit them, and hopefully it'll be better the second time around, but it will take the higher of the 2 grades. Please don't copy, and I'll also say there's no reason why you can't get 100% on the homeworks, because if you shoot me an email, give me a call, swing out by my office, I will gladly help you with each and every single one of the problems. 5 quizzes are scattered throughout the semester, and the quizzes are just to get you ready for the test. They're not designed to beat you up. Quizzes are worth 20 points, tests are roughly worth 100 points, and the quizzes are due before the tests. So what they're kind of doing is they're kind of saying, hey, are you ready for the test? I don't want you to take a big hit on 100 points where you could take a smaller hit on 20 points. There is a time limit on the quizzes, and and they're also multiple choice, about 5 questions each. Tests, there are 4 tests throughout the semester covering about 3 or 4 chapters each. The test is you and you only. You have 50 minutes to complete it. You don't have to do it in the testing center or with ProctorU or anything like that. So that's kind of the reason behind the time limit. Homeworks, quizzes, and tests, I don't accept them after the due date. It will show you what the answers are after the due date, so obviously, I'm not going to take it if it's already shown you the answer. 949 points in the class is kind of how they're broken up, and standard A, B, C, D, and all that good stuff. Some of these policies don't really play a role too much in the online thing, but academic honesty, when you're taking a test, you're saying this is me and this is me only. I'm not doing anything I shouldn't be doing. If you have a disability form, you know what it means. Get it to me as soon as you can, and we'll get what you need to make things work for you. Everything is due at 11:59 on the dates that are listed here. You can find them here. You can find them in Canvas, so they're kind of all over the place. You can kind of see that on August 27th, there's a syllabus quiz due, and on the 29th, we're going to have chapters 1 through 4 due, a quiz due, the homework's due, as well as these labs that are due. I'll show you exactly where to submit them, and again, you do have 2 attempts on the homeworks and 2 attempts on the labs. Only 1 attempt on the quizzes, sorry. You will note that these are all due on Thursdays, and the test, gives you about 5 days to get ready for it. You can look at these answers, you can look at these answers, you can take a look at those, so that gives you a little bit of time to do the tests. We are doing a test about every 2 weeks. That's kind of the nature of this 8-week class. It's kind of fast. One thing I will note is the 26th due date looks pretty daunting. We have a whole bunch of stuff due. In general, normally I have a break right in the middle here where it's Thanksgiving break or spring break, and that's just kind of the way that the class was structured when I crammed it into this 8-week format. So make sure you go ahead and try to get ahead on this particular block. It's probably the worst one out of all of them. I will also note that test number 4 is not cumulative, it is just chapters 15 through 18. So that's everything for that. Let's go ahead and hop back to the class. You can find the lectures straight off the homepage. So if you go to the homepage right here, you can kind of see the lecture links for chapter 1. You can go ahead and click on that. And here is going to be, so voiceover PowerPoint, me going blah, blah, blah. It'll pop you into YouTube. And you can find the slides that I talked to just right here. So if you click on these and you download them, then you can kind of see these slides, and I highly recommend that you go ahead and take notes just like you would in a regular class. You really do learn things by taking notes. We can go ahead and go back to the home page, and we could go ahead and find chapters 2, 3, 4, all the way through chapters 17 and 18. To access what is due, you have any number of ways to do that. You could go over here and kind of see what's due. Let's just go ahead and click on this one right here, chapter 1. Chapter 1 is only 5 questions, as is one of the later chapters, so we can go ahead and take this guy, kind of see questions 1 through 5. If you've kind of watched the lecture, taken some notes, then you can go ahead and select these guys and submit it. It yells at you if you don't answer all of them, but I'm not going to give it all away. And it says correct answer is going to be due after the due date, but this particular attempt, it tells you which ones are right, which ones are wrong. So you can kind of see, that one wasn't right, that one wasn't right, that one wasn't right, and those 2 obviously weren't right. You can go ahead and submit this a second time, and it will take the higher of the 2. Let's find another way to access stuff that is due. We can go into the syllabus tab, and you could access chapter 1 right here. 1 through 4 are pretty similar. For the labs, this one right here, you need some pennies. You only need 10 pennies. And I have a little introduction for my lab. So this is kind of like me saying blah, blah, blah. This is how you do the lab if you've taken me face to face. I'll go ahead and click on this one right here. And you can kind of see I've have the lab popped up. And I'm just going to talk my way through the lab and say this. Okay, this is just a quick look. This is what you're going to do for the lab, and this is how you do it. Some things to watch out for, and some things that I'm looking for. Please do make sure whenever you're submitting a lab, anywhere there's a question mark, a big open space, I'm kind of looking for ink on the paper. So you can go ahead and you could submit this using either a doc format or a PDF format. If you do either, so let's just say the doc format, fill this thing out, but as you do fill it out, put some yellow highlighting behind the text or something like that. That'll just help me pick the answers out in just a little bit. So go ahead and let this thing enable editing. turn this guy off, and if I were to type this in, just please, for my sanity, go ahead and make it like yellow or something like that behind it. That just makes it so much easier for me to read. What we can do is then we can go ahead and go back into Canvas and see how we submit this. So we can go ahead and submit the assignment. Go ahead and choose your file. I don't really have a file very handy, so well, I think you'll probably get the idea. I'll go ahead and submit this guy to myself, and you can even put some comments right here if you want, and you can go ahead and submit that guy. I will look at this and make some feedback on it if I want to, and you could kind of see that guy over there, and then you can go ahead and resubmit the assignment. And again, that's just like getting some regular feedback. You can see all of your grades in this little grade tab, and I'll wait for that guy to populate here, and you can kind of see that I've messed around with the homework, and here I have a submission that was in there. That's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. You can also access the assignments using the assignment tab. It looks pretty similar to the syllabus tab, only it kind of breaks it up a little bit differently, whichever one you prefer. When it comes to the tests, before every test I have a test sample, and these things are not worth anything, but they are pretty similar to the real test. So if I were to click on this guy right here, it's going to bring this thing up and say take the quiz. It's going to say, okay, you have a time limit, and let's go ahead and give this thing a try. If you see a question uses forces and accelerations, you're probably going to see a force and acceleration question on the real test. Here we have a question with something in free fall, and so on and so forth. So you can go ahead and take this guy. This one will actually tell you the answers right away. You can kind of see they're all worth 0 points, and it should go ahead and take this guy. You can take this thing as many times as you want. It's not worth any points. I'm not going to look at it and say he or she doesn't know anything. This one does tell you what the answer is afterwards, so you can kind of see this guy right here. When it comes to the tests, I make these things side by side with the practice test, so if you see a couple of questions on a particular topic, you're going to see a couple of questions on that particular topic. You're not going to see like a gajillion questions on that topic and very little on something else. If you see it on the practice test, it's on the real test. That was, I think, everything I wanted to say, so I look forward to Physics 101 with you, and please do feel free to shoot me an email, swing on by, give me a call. I will gladly help you with anything that you want in Physics 101, lectures, labs, homeworks, review the quizzes material with you beforehand, sample tests, anything that you'd like. Best of luck in the course, and I hope to be in touch. Thank you. Bye.